Welcome once again to Future Ambassador. After the short temporary break, my name is Owodeni Folua Israel, your regular anchor of this program, Future Ambassador. This is a program specially designed for the Nigerian youths, not to educate, entertain, and provide vital information, not only on campuses, at society at large. Why Future Ambassador? We believe the future of Nigeria lies in the hand of our youths. Our actions, our voice, our reaction shape only today but shape tomorrow. And this is a platform that seeks for us to learn, unlearn, and relearn. This program will be coming to your view on this station every Tuesday on Heritage every day. This program has two interesting segments. The first segment is the campus gist. We will bring stories from each campuses. And the second segment is the talk section, when we discuss things that happen in our campuses and also at society at large. This is your program. Youth, undergraduates, let's come together and build today, unite to shape better tomorrow. Now we are going on a short musical break. When we are back, we are moving to the first segment of the program.
I can almost see it, that dream I'm dreaming, but there's a voice inside my head saying you'll never reach it. Every step I'm taking, every move I make feels lost with no direction. My faith is shaken, but I gotta keep trying. Gotta keep my head held high. There's always gonna be another mountain. I'm always gonna wanna make it move. Always gonna be an uphill battle. Sometimes I'm gonna have to lose. It ain't about how fast I get there. Ain't about what's waiting on the other side.
Welcome back from this short musical break. Now we are moving into this first segment of the program, which is the campus gist, when I'll be introducing my fellow colleague in person of Fumibi to give us the campus gist. Oh, Fumibi, what's up?
I'm good.
You are looking good.
Thank you.
Oh, do you have any campus gist for us?
Yes.
All right, you have the floor.
Hello viewers, and welcome once again to Campus Gist, your trusted roundup of the latest happening across campuses in Nigeria. It's a pleasure to have you with us. I am Fumibi, your host, and here are the stories making headlines this week. We begin with some exciting news for students across the country. Students of Yobe State University have expressed joy after receiving the NEL Fund disbursement, a financial support scheme that continues to provide relief to thousands of Nigerian students. The story is much the same in several other tertiary institutions, where students are also celebrating the receipt of their June and July NEL Fund upkeep payments. Many beneficiaries expressed appreciation to President Bola Ahmed Tinubu for supporting Nigerian students through the initiative, describing it as a timely intervention that has eased their financial burden and enabled them to focus more on their studies. From students' welfare, we move to a conversation about the future of education and national development. At the Federal University of Technology, Akure, FUTA, education experts, government representatives, and other stakeholders have called for greater investment in Nigeria's youth as the key to sustainable national development. Speaking at the School of Logistics and Innovation Technology annual lecture, the Vice Chancellor of Christian University, Professor Oyedunni Arulogun, stated that Nigeria possesses the human potential to become one of the world's leading innovation-driving economies. According to her, this can only be achieved through deliberate investments in quality education, research, technology, entrepreneurship, and digital skills. She further noted that many of the jobs today's students will occupy in the future have not yet been created, urging universities to equip learners with creativity, innovation, critical thinking, and problem-solving skills beyond the traditional classroom. Participants at the lecture agreed that Nigeria's greatest resource is not oil, but its young people, calling for stronger partnerships to empower the next generation with the knowledge and skills needed to transform the nation. From FUTA, we move to Nigeria's premier university. University of Ibadan has appointed Professor Peter Olamakinde Olapegba as its 14th Vice Chancellor following a transparent and highly competitive selection process involving 8 qualified candidates. Currently serving as the Deputy Vice Chancellor, Administration, Professor Olapegba emerged as the successful candidate after several rounds of screening and interviews. He is expected to officially assume office when the tenure of the current Vice Chancellor ends in November. The appointment reflects the university's continued commitment to academic excellence, research, innovation, and global competitiveness. Still on development with Nigeria's higher institution, graduates of Ambrose Ali University have launched a global fundraising campaign to complete a modern examination and record building. The project is designed to address one of the institution's long-standing challenges: delay in processing transcripts, certificates, and other academic records required for employment, postgraduate student studies, and international opportunities. The Alumni Association disclosed that construction has already reached the decking stage, while donors will have their names permanently recognized in the building's Hall of Fame. From infrastructure development, we turn our attention to career development. The Federal University Foyer has introduced a career preparation program aimed at equipping final year students with the practical skill required to succeed after graduation. The program focuses on civil writing, interview preparation, workplace ethics, networking, personal branding, and career confidence. With graduate unemployment remaining a major challenge in Nigeria, initiatives like this are expected to better prepare students for the realities of today's labor markets. As students prepare to enter the workforce, the federal government has issued an important advisory to job seekers. The government has urged graduates applying for public sector jobs to exercise caution throughout the recruitment process. Authorities highlighted 7 common mistakes applicants should avoid, including patronizing fake recruitment agents, submitting false information, falling for verified recruitment announcements, and ignoring official application guidelines. Graduates have been advised to rely only on official government recruitment channels and remain vigilant against fraudulent practices. Next is a developing story from the University of Abuja. A report by Sahara Reporters alleges that the Minister of Education is attempting to influence the appointment of Professor Hamzat Adebayo to a senior management position at the university. The report also claims that the professor was previously dismissed from the Federal University Dutse over alleged misconduct. It is important to note that these remain allegations reported by Sahara Reporters. As of the time of this broadcast, neither the Minister of Education nor the University of Abuja has issued an official response to the claims. Finally, we end on a positive note. 3 students of the Federal University of Lafia, Fulafia, who were reportedly abducted from their off-campus hostel, have regained their freedom. The rescue operation was successfully carried out through the combined efforts of local vigilantes, military personnel, and other security agencies. Member of the university community and resident expresses gratitude to the security operatives and everyone who offered prayers and supporting during the difficult periods. Thankfully, the students were rescued unharmed. We commended the security agencies and community volunteers for the swift response and dedication in ensuring the safe returns of the students. And that brings us to the end of this week's edition of Campus Gist on Future Ambassador. Thank you for staying with us. We hope you found these updates informative and engaging. Join us again next week for another exciting edition as we bring you more inspiring stories and the last development from campuses across Nigeria. Until then, stay informed, stay inspired, and continue striving for excellence. I am Fumibi, wishing you a wonderful week ahead. Goodbye. God bless you.
Oh, to my viewers at home, these are the updates for this week. And now we are moving to the second segment of the program. Before we move to that, let's go on musical break. Remember, building today, shaping tomorrow.
It's the climb. The struggles I'm facing, the chances I'm taking, sometimes might knock me down, but no, I'm not breaking. I may not know it, but these are the moments that I'm gonna remember most. Yeah, just gotta keep going, and I gotta be strong. Just keep pushing on, 'cause there's always gonna be another mountain. I'm always gonna wanna make it move. Always gonna be an uphill battle. Sometimes I'm gonna have to lose. Ain't about how fast I get there. Ain't about what's waiting on the other side.
Welcome back from the short musical break. If you are just joining, this is Future Ambassador live from the studio of NT Ijebode. Now we dive into the real conversation of today, where we discuss meaningful conversation with distinguished guests on issue that shapes our society and inspired positive change. Today's topic is developing the reading culture among youth. Reading is the foundation of knowledge, critical thinking, creative and effective leadership. A nation that encourages its young people to read is investing in a brighter future. Sadly, many young people today spend more time on social media than reading books, newspaper, or other educational material. This makes today's discussion both timely and important. To help us on this topic, I have a person of good personality all the way from Tasholari Federal University of Education. My guest, can you introduce yourself?
Okay, good evening, everyone. I'm Adibak Elizabeth Omoyemi from Taishola Federal University of Education, and here we are in NTA Ijebode.
As a student leader and someone who's closer to young people, it is often said readers are leaders. In your own opinion, how does developing a reading culture contribute to building leadership skills? Can someone become a great leader without cultivating the habit of reading?
From the word readers are leaders, let me use this as an example. Even the likes of Bill Gates, Dangote, assuming they don't read then, it is very sure that maybe they would have become something else. We can say that because of the ability to read, then like they are not ignorant to reading, that makes them a leader. Even some of us can even learn from the mistake, our past leaders' mistakes from it. So that shows that readers are leaders. Before you lead, definitely you must have overcome something, and
So you said something before we read, we must have overcome some things.
Yes.
As a leader and a person who is leading thousands of students in Federal University, Tasholari Federal University. So what are the things that you have overcome in terms of reading, cultivating the habit of reading that has helped you in order to become a very great leader?
Let me say this. Okay, I'm a student representative, and it won't be easy to be running lectures, to be going for business sittings, or to be going for meetings. There are some times that I'll just think that, oh, let me do this before. It is not easy. It does not be easy though. But with the help of setting your mind or something, or let me just say in a day, let me just decide that, okay, let me just use 2 or 5 minutes to like assimilate this thing, to understand. So that has been helping me so far in terms of reading, and I've been overcoming some things in line of politics and journalism in school. Let me put it that way.
Thank you so much. Technology, social media, and artificial intelligence have rapidly transformed the world. Yeah. So what impact have these developments had on reading culture among youths today? And are these development helping us or hindering us from reading?
Let me say both. Helping and injury.
In what way?
Both. For the helping aspect, or let me just say for the injuring aspect, we students, even youth of nowadays, we are fond of scrolling too much on our phones. We spend almost half of our day on phone, watching unnecessary things, following TikTokers that are not adding impact to our lives. So that means that it is hindering us from getting what we need to do in our daily lives. And in terms of helping, we have some apps that we can download books from, either stories that will make impacts on us. So it's helping and also hindering us. So,
Okay, thank you so much. What practical step can parents, school, government, and other stakeholders take to make reading more attractive and engaging for young people?
as a parent, it is our duty to monitor our child or children in sense that it's not a must that you are saying that, oh, my daughter, let me buy you data to know what's trending on social media. But then you can recommend books for your children or your child. You can recommend books for them. And in terms of school, let me just say teachers or lecturers are advised to bring in speakers to talk about something that will be meaningful or that will add meaningful impacts on the students. While the government parts, they can actually raise funds on libraries for us or even create competition by between schools. From there we are learning.
Okay, thank you so much, my wonderful guest, the senator from Federal University of Taushalari. Many young people today seems to be more attracted to entertainment than reading. So how can they strive a healthy balance between entertainment and reading in this digital world?
Okay, thank you for that. For the entertainment, we can see the likes of Jarvis and Pella. They are entertainers. And there are some things, although there are sometimes that you'll be like, what are these people saying? But from there, we gain some stuff. Although it's not about reading like that, but then there are some facts that they are saying through their entertainment. There are some things that they do in their aspect.
So
And
like this guy, this barrister, that, oh, I am Kineko, this lawyer. What do you say? Yeah.
And that one is adding impact to us because even through what he's saying, you'll be like, wow, this guy is saying something that will add something to your life. So there's difference between that.
Thank you so much. Reading be a should reading be an everyday habit for personal growth and lifelong learning, or should it be only when we are going to prepare for examination?
No, that's capital. And that's what is hindering us from achieving what we are to achieve in this life. For exams, if you want to read for exams, it's just, let's just say it is temporary. But if we take it after exam, maybe you are reading daily and daily, it's a lifelong stuff. Like it's a lifelong thing that you'll be remembering the whole. It's not when you'll be doing exam or public test that will be like, okay, let me read. No, reading is beyond that. We need to read every day to let me just say to shape ourselves or to even know who we are or what we are capable of doing.
Thank you so much. Can you just give us practical step of how to manage our 24 hours? There are many things we use our 24 hours for. So how many hours times can you tell us to make sure we can cultivate the habit of reading daily?
I might not be able to split the 24 hours, but then let me just say that at least as a student and as a youth, we ought to have a corner place in our room that we just set aside for, let me just say, for reading habits or for any other things. Okay, let's do it this way. Maybe you wake up in the morning, you do the necessary things, and you're like, what's the next thing to do? You can just make use of your 5 or 10 minutes to read. Oh, let me just say, this book now is, what's it called? Let's just say it is a book that you must read, and it contains 150 pages. And you were like, how will I be able to solve 150 pages in a day? You can decide to read maybe 3 or 5 pages for like 5 minutes or 10 minutes. You can assimilate it. You can even ask yourself questions. Maybe after reading the 5 pages, you'll be like, oh wow, okay, in this number 1, what did I gain from there? Let me assimilate it. And the next day, if you can continue that habit, then surely we'll be able to cover up the what's it called, the story,
150.
the 150 pages within a twinkle of an eye.
I've really learned a lot. So, which book has made a great influence on your life? That's whenever you seems to encourage or to gather people and give them advice, and you refer them to the book.
Hmm, okay, let me just say books like Purple Hibiscus. We also have Utopic Habits, and there are some books that I brought with me that I can actually recommend in terms of what you asked.
All
Though.
right, we are glad to see some books so that my viewers at home can
All
download the
right.
books on app and read.
Permit me to bring out the books. I'm so sorry for bringing a lot of. Okay, we have Big the Picture. We also have I Road Leadership. I must tell you that this book, if you can read it, then you can bring something even about your business. Yes, some of us engage ourselves in business in school just to sustain ourselves, and it is more than sustainability. It is more than that. You are actually shaping yourself in the nearest future, because I believe that even Bill Gates and Dangote, they started from somewhere before we can even add their names now. So for you to be a reader, you must sacrifice a lot of things. Even if it means your time, you need to sacrifice it, I must tell you. So we also have Ego is the Enemy, you know.
Thank you so much. So this will be our last question. If you have the opportunity to introduce one policy aimed at retrieving the reading culture in Nigeria, what will it be, and why do you believe it will be more effective?
If I had the opportunity to lay a policy in terms of reading habits, let me just say, let me use myself as an example now. Like, I'm a student rep, right? I may just decide to lay a policy, even for my course mate, that, okay, my course mates, even before we start our examination, we need to cultivate the habit of reading. Let's lay down this policy for us to achieve it, so that it will add some impact in our lives. I can decide that, okay, the policy is that maybe in a week, or probably that week interval, we hold maybe tutorials, or let me just say, how should I even put it? Or let me just say a class work on our own, or a group work on our own. I can just say, okay, this policy is what we'll be observing every week, and I'll make sure that it is effective by what? By persuading them. And this stuff, consistency, it matters a lot in everything that we are doing in this life. So by that, I believe that it will be very, very effective on, let me just say, students or youths in Nigeria.
So my viewers at home, thank you for watching, thank you for staying, and we are moving to the end of the conversation on the topic developing the reading culture among youth. You have hear a lot, learn a lot on how we can cultivate the habit of reading. Number one, consistency is the key. And if you can take a 3 page, don't be procrastination hindering you not to read books. This book is 150 page. No, start 3 page today, 4 page today. The way you take it daily by daily, it's number one, you will develop yourself in reading culture, your reading mindset will be there, and also your cognitive. Whatsoever you read, make sure a time, try and sit down, remind on it, go through it. Readers are leaders. Quote, and this is how you get a quote. These are these. Even vocabulary development, it is the way you would read books. There is books on leadership, books of entrepreneur, books on businesses, book on strategic relationship, books on how to relate, in formal organizations. To my viewers, at my say a big thank you for watching. At my guests, thank you for coming to my program.
Thank you,
for
sir.
the inciting, the word of words view. Thank you so much for giving us when we call you next time, you will answer us.
Of course.
So can your name to the viewers at home?
Okay, before I say my name, let me add this to it. Before we can call ourselves a readers, or before we want to call ourselves the next CEOs, the next senators, the next honorables, or probably the next president of Nigeria, yes, you can. We need to start from somewhere, and it is in our hands. if we want to be the next entrepreneurs or the next CEOs or the next senators, it is what? It's an art. So once again, my name is Adibake Elizabeth Omoyemi, a representative of Taisho Federal University of Education.
Yeah, start from somewhere. Start from now. Today is today.
Yeah.
Take a book, read 2 pages. Consistency is the key. Read today, tomorrow, and every day of your life, even when you are tired. Sacrifice your time. I am the presenter, Owoduni Ifolua Israel. Building today, shaping tomorrow.
Iṣẹ́